Hello world, this is Jeffrey, JGB146 Blake, back with another episode of the Adventures of Alolan Ninetales. So, we've made some changes to the deck. First, you'll notice there's no Sudowoodo. Yes, we have the bench space, but when he's stuck in the active, it hurts us so much more than what shorting our opponent's bench helps us. And with only 2 float stones, it caused more problems than it was worth. And more importantly, I feel like there are consistency issues. So the bigger thing is that we added 2 Dive Ball back in. This is part of the build that I was running previously, and I didn't face the issues that I feel like I've been facing. So trying it out with 2 dive balls added in. Obviously, I took out another card that was the 4th VS Seeker, because getting our Pokemon out is way more important than having late game supporter access, at least in my eyes. Because we get to a point, once we're set up, we don't feel like we need the supporters for quite a while. The exception being Professor Kukui, but we'll see how it pans out this way. I'm not sure if an extra VS Seeker, if that's a difference between my previous list or not. I can't remember if I had 3 or 4, because I know I didn't have enough Field Blowers, but I felt like a VS Seeker was easier to take out than to drop down to 1 Field Blower. And I didn't feel like we could drop Mallow yet, although I may get there. Mallow I haven't had the opportunity to use Mallow since switching to this list in about 20 games. So if that continues, I will drop Mallow for another VS Seeker. Anyway, with that, we'll go ahead and get into a game. Okay, so we see Psychic, Water, and Fire. I was about to say could be evolutions, but it's definitely not evolutions. So it's probably going to be Volcanion, which should be a fairly decent matchup for us, since they're obviously weak to water. A lot of times they run Brooklet Hill as well, which is helpful for us. We'll get to start a Tapu Koko, which is kind of nice. And we'll get Remoraid out. Well, we're going first. We don't need to do that. So it is Volcanion. That's good to know. Get Remoraid out. I don't think it's worth it to attach to Koko. So I think what we're going to want to do is Ultra Ball, discarding the energy, and I'm hesitant to discard the VS, but I think we're going to. We only have 2 VS left in the deck now, but now we can grab a Lele, and because we have an additional Ultra Ball, we'll be able to get a Remoraid, out. So we could bridge it. Question is, bridge it or in? I think we're actually going to in. And I'm factoring into that, if this was any other matchup, I would probably actually bridge it. But given that they probably are going to play a Brooklet Hill, that's going to help us. So grab an in. I really should have looked at my prizes there, but I didn't. Bad Jeffrey. And then we will in. And we will be left with a lot of garbage. Okay, so what are we going to do? I guess we're going to just click done for now. Alrighty, and now it even looks like we are not going to see any kind of Brooklet Hill come out because he's already got most of his sprints set up. He might want to just to get a Starmie going, but we'll see. Okay, we do see an energy come out, and we've got Brigette. So with Brigette, we'll go ahead and now get down 3 Vulpix. One of them's probably going to die next turn, but that's okay. We will attach a water energy to the middle one because he's cute. And we will... So I think we just wait on doing anything else, and I think we just beacon for an Octillery and a Ninetales. If all goes well, we will play down like our entire hand next turn, and then Octillery for at least 4 cards. But we get an in. That's fairly okay with us as well. I said our Vulpix was going to go down. That's really not true unless things go poorly for us. So here, I think we're going to Ultra Ball. Now we see the Brooklet Hill. He was waiting for us to get our Pokemon out, and or he just hadn't come across one yet. In any case, that's okay. See the Starmie, see a Fighting Fury Belt. That Fighting Fury Belt really isn't going to do a whole lot. We will go ahead and evolve. That was good top deck for us. And I was going to discard the Field Blower with an Ultra Ball, but part of me thinks we should discard the Brooklet Hill to keep our opponent from using it. We'll attach Choice Band here, and so we can Field Blower and discard Ultra Ball and in. I think that's going to be our best option here. We also can get rid of this Fighting Fury Belt, even though it doesn't do a whole lot anyway. We'll get Octillery, and then we can use VS to do whatever we needs to do. If Octillery gives us good cards that we can't use, then we'll use VS to get an in, and if they're good cards that we can use, then we will choose a different approach. Okay, so we can use those two. We're going to be down to our last VS Seeker, but I think that's okay. I would be there anyway. Don't really want to give my opponent 2 extra cards if I don't have to. So we're dropping the VS to use the Sycamore. And now we get an Aqua Patch. We can attach here. We can attach another energy here. And now's the question of, do we want to Float Stone? So if we hit 450, that's 80, that's 160. That's not a KO, but it's really close. I think it's worth it to take that shot. So I think we're going to go ahead and attach the Float Stone to Ninetales-GX so that we can attack next turn. retreat, go down here, and we're just going to Ice Blade into the active. Just because it gets us so much more damage. And now that's an easy KO anytime we want it. If any of his Pokemon had energy attached, we might have, other than the baby with one, we might have chosen differently, but as is, I think that was the correct decision. Okay, so we have our last VS Seeker in hand. We have an Ultra Ball and a Choice Band. We have no energy in the discard, so even if we got Aqua Patches, we couldn't use them. Interestingly enough, I haven't used any dive balls. I've been using Ultra Balls, but I feel like this has been pretty smooth sailing. Okay, so I think we want to attach here. We want to use the Ultra Ball to grab Remoraid, to discard Remoraid and an energy, and then we're going to fail the search. What do we have? We have 2 Aqua Patches in here. We have 1 more Choice Band, 1 more Float, and 3 DCs. So I guess we prized 1. It's a little bit... This might have been incorrect because we're wasting an Ultra Ball. But I think it's okay. So now the question is, do we Octillery or do we VS for Sycamore? I think we Octillery, and we may just skip playing the VS this turn. Or that can happen. I don't want to play that on Rough Seas because he could start healing his Volcanion. But what I think I do want to do is attach another energy. And then I think it's correct to Lysandre the energized Volcanion EX. And then I think we're going to Ice Blade again. Just preserve the energy for as long as we can. Now we have 2 turns in a row that we'll be able to get 4 prizes. Okay, we have to Field Blower to get that prize, but that's okay. Does he have a switch in hand? We'll never know. Well, I guess we know the answer is no, he does not. We do get another Lysandre. So we'll probably use that Lysandre. He has a switch. Okay, so Aqua Patch onto this guy. DCE. You know, I probably should have done it onto the Float Stone did. Alright, so Do we want to take down Turtonator or Volk? I think we Lysandre one of these two and just KO it. And I think Turtonator is the bigger threat because he can also reattach energy. We'll use Octillery's Abyssal Hand once. There's a good chance that he will KO our... I'm going to hold the Field Blower because we haven't put the damage out there yet. There's a good chance that he will KO the active Ninetales. That's fine. We are going to Blizzard Edge, discarding 2 of our water energies, which will activate future Aqua Patches. There's Mallow, there's another TCE. So if we are not KO'd this turn, then we can do a full-fledged attack with this guy. If we are KO'd, then it doesn't matter. Okay, so we will be going down but we can easily promote. We can attach a water energy and just take the KO. For good measure, I'm going to go ahead and play the Field Blower because I think we want to reduce, we want to thin our deck. So I'm going to play it to discard the Float Stone and discard this Fighting Fury Belt. Could use Brooklet Hill if we wanted. We're trying to thin our deck anyway, so I'm going to use a Dive Ball. Oh, we couldn't use it really because we don't have... I was thinking we might have a single Vulpix left or something, but clearly we do not. And our opponent resigns. That's fine. Clearly the match was ours. We were going to KO the active and then just bench snipe either of the others.